Hey, Katrina here from ScrappyHorses. Welcome to my YouTube channel. As always, I am so happy you are here joining me in this video. I am going back to basics a little bit in this video, meaning I am going to cover some basic Cricut skills today. We're going to go back to some importing and finding things in Cricut Design Space, that kind of thing. So if you're new to Cricut, you might really enjoy this video. If you're an old hand at Cricut and have been watching several of my videos or other videos, you still might find a helpful hint or tip. So let's get started. The card I'm creating today is a thank you card, and it sort of has a Western country feel with the wagon wheel, but it also has a very feminine feel. So I'm sort of combining the country rustic with the feminine feel for this card. This picture is a picture of the front of the card. I want to drag that off for us. And this is the inside of the card. I'm in Cricut Design Space, and I've already pulled up a finished product. This is my front, this is the inside of the card. Now these papers were all designed in Canva using images from Creative Fabrica. Let's take a look at how I did this card. I've already brought in this piece that I created. Now you'll notice that it is a square. Okay. So this piece I have not yet brought in, and I created this piece right here, the actual thank you sentiment. I created that right here in Cricut Design Space. Let's start out importing this piece. So the piece of paper that I want to import is right here, so it's very accessible for me. I'm going to left click upload. I'm going to hit, again, upload. Now, I can upload this as an image or a pattern fill. I'm going to upload this as an image, and you'll see why here in a minute. So it's already selected image, it's green. I'm going to come down and left click upload image. All I have to do is select this and just drag it over. I like my image, so I don't need to replace it. I'm going to left click with my mouse, continue. Again, I'm going to click apply and continue because I don't want to change anything over here. I'm going to choose this as a flat graphic because I'm going to print and cut this. If I chose one of these others, it wouldn't work for me. So I need flat graphic, so I left click and I come down and I left click continue. Now, it's a good idea, and I almost always do, come in and give this an image name and then tag it. Tagging it is how you're going to be able to find it later. So, for example, this is watermarked. So I'm going to say watermark, comma, space. This is Floral West. That's what I named this collection, comma. It's part of ScrappyPapers because I made it, designed it. And it has pink, it has flowers, it's country, it has a wheel. So if I ever have a challenge where I have to make something with a wheel, for example, I can type in wheel and this will come up, as well as anything else I've marked with a wheel. And it's sort of vine-like, so I'm just going to put in vine. Now, down here I can add it to a collection. I believe I have a ScrappyPapers collection and a ScrappyHorses collection. I'm going to go ahead and put it in there. And then I'm going to come to upload. That's down here in your bottom right-hand corner. And I'm going to left click. Now I can click view, or I can just wait a few seconds and it will bring it in. And now I can size it down by grabbing this toggle right here with my mouse and just simply sizing it down. Or I can come over here to where it says size, and I can change the size here. For example, I know that the width is going to be approximately 4 1/4. So I'm going to just type that in. Okay. And actually, I think my width is going to be a little more than that, but we'll just leave it right there for right now. This piece I've already imported the same way I imported this. This is this piece. I just did them in 2 slightly different colors. I'm not quite sure why I did that, but I did. Let's go ahead, just for time's sake, I'm going to go ahead and do this one in the same color on the front and the middle. I'm not sure why I changed the color when I did this before. This piece right here is the wood board with this piece already on top of it. This is 1 piece of paper. This card blank is going to measure 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Now, 5 1/2 is the width on it. Okay, so I know that I want this piece, the width, to be 5 1/4. Okay, now you're saying, but wait, that says height, H. Yes, because I rotated this. Let me show you why I did. Let's come down here. When I sized this, I'm going to go ahead and just take this and unlock it. Again, I want it to be width 5 1/2. So let's do that. Let's just type in 5.5. Okay, that's not bad. I mean, you know, we can live with that, right? And it's actually going to be 5.25. So let's correct that. But when we come in and we squish it this way, I didn't like the way the boards looked. They got too skinny for me. I wanted to keep that wider board look. So I'm going to go backwards here and put it back where we were in our square. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and rotate this 90 degrees. So I've come up to my rotate right here. It's right next to position, rotate. At my keyboard, I'm going to type in 90. Now, again, I want this to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. But now my width is my height and my height is my width. So although this is my width that I want at 5 1/4, that's now my height, okay? 5.25, return. And 4 1/4 is going to be the width. There we go. And that keeps my boards right here. Let me pump this up a little bit. That keeps them nice and wide. Now you might be thinking, well, wow, that really distorts this pattern. Yes, it does, but we're not using that pattern, so it doesn't matter. Okay? Let's bring this down here and let's lock it up. This is the pattern we're using. Now we know we want this twice. We want it here and we want it here. These are pretty much the same. So let's go ahead and make our changes, then we'll copy it. So we know our width on the outside piece is 4.63, because now we're back to normal dimensions. They're normal here, 4.63. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring in a shape. Okay, so I've got my shapes over here on the left-hand side. I'm going to left click. I want a square with sharp corners. The square right here, left click. I'm going to close this. If I just tap this little toggle right here, this little caret or arrow, this will go away. Now, this piece right here is 4.63, so I can type that in for my square. I'm doing this at my keyboard, 4.63. I'm going to unlock this lock That means my dimensions can be different between width and height. My height is 3.53. So, come up here, select 3.53, and I hit return on my keyboard. This you can play with, and it depends on the pattern you're using, obviously. But what you're going to do then is you're going to choose how much of this you want on your card. Now, I can lay it over here and do it this way. And I probably don't want to lose much here. So what I might do is I might go ahead and select these two pieces, align bottom, align. It's right up here at the very top next to edit and arrange. I'm going to left click again, and I want to go towards the left side. So now I'm going to come back to this piece of paper only, and it is locked up. I'm going to bring it down. Here we go. Now I know I'd like more of that wagon wheel, so I'm going to take just my square and I'm going to bump it up. I can use the arrow on my keyboard if I like so. That will give me more of this wagon wheel up here. So now this piece of paper is 4.64. This is 4.63. Let's just make this 4.63 also. Again, let's make sure that we're aligned. Come up, align left. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, select them both. Come over to slice. Slice is over on your left-hand side here. Click slice. And there it is. And now we're just going to center it. Again, I'm using my mouse, selecting both pieces. I'm going to align center. Now, before I do anything else, I'm going to select just this. I can either go to my keyboard and hit Command-C, Command-V, I'm on a Mac, or I can select this piece by left-clicking, right-click with my mouse, come up here to duplicate, and that will also duplicate it. All right, this piece I made a little bit bigger because it's going to fit on the inside of the card, so you can just bring this down and then fit it in how you'd like it to fit. I'm just going to eyeball it. There we go. Done. We'll put that back. We're done with all of this, so we can just take it away by swooping over with our mouse and hitting delete on our keyboard. Now, how did I get this layer in as well as this layer? Okay, let's come back over to shapes. Over in your left-hand column, left click, pull in a square. Let's just pull in 2 squares while we're there. And let's bring one down here, and we'll bring one here. We're gonna, again, tap this little caret, left click. We're gonna bring it down and size it in to where we'd like it. So let's say we like this, all right? Now, you can put this on top of the wagon wheel, but oh no, what happens if we don't want it on top of the wagon wheel? What if we want it underneath the wagon wheel like this? Well, remember I told you I designed this paper myself. So I designed just a wagon wheel too. So let's go pick it up. So we're gonna come over, left click, upload. We're going to come to view all. I'm going to type in, remember how I told you I tag everything? All right, here we go. Let's see if it works. ScrappyPapers wheel. This is an uploaded. Notice over here where it says uploaded. And there it is. I left click. I click add to canvas. and I click View. And there it is. I've brought that in. All right, so let's just set this down here for a minute. And you can see here the color difference. All right, remember I told you there were two colors? That's how I ended up with different colors. I brought this wheel in at a different color. All right, I'm just going to size this down. Okay, so now we have all of this. We're good. All right, let's come in now with this. You'll notice I did this in a really dark brown. So let's change this to that dark brown. I do that by selecting this rectangle, coming up here to the top where this black square is, tapping it, and then coming into this brown square. Now, if I didn't already have the color I wanted, I could tap anything. I could tap this brown, but I'm going to stay there. Come down here to Advanced, and then you can change this to any color brown you want. You can come in and move this around. You can slide around. You can do whatever you like. Here's how we're going to get this piece in. We're going to come in, and we're going to offset. But we're not going to offset, we're going to inset. So what you're going to do is left click the offset. We're going to square up that corner. See how it's round right now? We're going to square it. We're going to move it way over to this side of the middle. That is what gives us an inset instead of an offset. So offset, it goes outside. Inset, it comes inside. You can make it as wide as you like. That's up to you. Let's go about right there. And then you're going to click Apply. Change that color. So go back up to this black square. I want this ivory color, and there it is. Okay, I have forgotten what font I used up here. No problem. Left click, that selects it. Come over here. I'm going to right click, go to Image Info. I used ScrappyHorses Design Floral West Square. That's this piece. I've got a square in there. That's this piece. And then I used American Typewriter and Bluebird Alishanty. Okay. So I'm going to come over to text. Let me show you something else I often do. If I think I'm not going to remember something, I'll do a Command-Shift-5 on my keyboard. I can come over and just copy very quickly, hit my return key, and this will pop up down here, and I can just bring it right over here. And then I know exactly what I used. We're going to pick up text. There it is. I'm going to bring it over, and we're going to type in thank. So I double click, I come to my keyboard, T-H-A-N-K, and that is Bluebird Alishanty. So now all we do is select our thank, come over here to where it says font. It came in on Cricut Sans. I'm going to click the little caret. I'm going to type in Bluebird. And right here it is. Bluebird Alishanty is a system for me. That's something that I have actually brought into Cricut. It is not a Cricut font. And neither is American Typewriter. So I'm not going to find that if I click Cricut. I have to go to System to find that. Now I click that, left click, and there it is. Let's bring it right down here. Now I need U. Now I could put this in 1, or I can just do it in 2. I'm going to go ahead and just do it in 2. Hit my text again. I'm going to grab it, bring it up here so you can see it. This one I want in American Typewriter. So I'm going to get out of Bluebird here and type in American. And there it is. I left click. Now I'm going to type in U. and we bring that down. We're done with this, so I'm just going to click the X. And I'm done with my text, so I can get out of the font. Now all I have to do is bring this down. I can make it as big or as little as I like. I think I made this pretty big. There we go. A little different than I did it up here. We're going to move this back to the front. So it looks like our wheel is sitting on top of that. Scooch this down. And now this is complete. We're just going to take this and we're going to use our mouse and we're going to go over the whole thing and see all of the pieces that it's going to put together now. You can see all the different layers that we are adding. We come down here to the bottom on your right hand column to flatten and left click. Now this is all one piece. That is one thing I want to warn you about. When you do your text, sometimes your text lightens when you flatten. You want to make sure, if you want that to be really dark, you want to make sure that you have selected, let's go up to this black square and I'll show you, that you select this black and not this black. See the difference between the two? Let me bring that to the front. So you can see there's a pretty good difference between those. And you could have made that font any color you like. I mean, that's up to you. You change it the same way you would change any other color, like when we changed the border around this. All right, we're going to do the same thing we did before, except this time let's offset. Let's do it a little differently. So this is where we would write our message. So let's just eyeball this. And I did this a little differently. You can see up here, I left a wide border on the left-hand side to show off my wheel and a little bit less on the right side. And I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to change this by coming up to our black square. I'm going to change it to our color. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. Now, this time, it's still selected. This time, I'm going to offset it. So I'm going to come up to offset, left click, and I'm going to bring it over to this side. This time we're going to do a very thin border. Okay. It's hard to manipulate this. If you want to go smaller than 0.056, it's hard to manipulate that with the toggle. I use the arrows on my keyboard. So I can go to the left. See how the little dotted line showed up there? Now I'm using my mouse and I'm clicking it, and see how it went to 0.042. Apply. That's automatically going to come in black. I want to go with brown. So I'm going to come up again, click that black square, come down, choose that same brown, and now that's done. I think I like where it's sitting. I don't think I need to do any changes. Let's say though I wanted a little more of this wagon to show, and I wanted to make this a little bit smaller. I can come over to my right hand column. I can click that. See how it shows up green? Now I'm going to go to my keyboard and I'm going to hold down my shift key. Now I'm going to, again, I still have my shift key down. I'm going to click this one. See how they're both green? I'm going to come up here and I'm going to group those. That way, if I move one, the other moves exactly with it and they stay centered. They're like one piece. It's like I glued them together. Now I can move this if I want, but what's even better is I can come in and I can resize them and see nothing changed per se. Let's say I want to change the dimension of it. I can come up here to the key, unlock it by left clicking that lock. Now see how the arrow goes up and down here? I can just use my mouse and pull it down. All I need to do now is come over, select it, come over to the right hand column down to flatten and left click. Now this is one piece. We have one piece, two pieces, all right? And we have this piece, which is our 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card blank. So the only thing I'm going to print and cut are these two pieces. Now, if you want some more dimension on your card, let me show you this. You could print this separately. Back this with cardstock or serial board and then glue this on top. And that would give you some dimension. Let's head on over to the craft table and let's take a look at how we put this together. It is a very simple put together. Here we are at the craft table. I did print two pieces for the front, and that's my inside piece, and that's my piece of cereal cardboard. That's just part of a cereal box that I cut to go under. So I'm going to lay in my bottom layer of the front. I'm going to put in my cereal box. There we go. A little Fabri-Tac over there. That gives me wiggle room, so if I don't get it centered, I can move it. This will just give the front a little more dimension. Now, here comes my inside sentiment piece, and I'm just going to lay that in with a little bit of my ATG. And that's how simple the put together was. But still a really fun thank you card. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your time. Any comments or questions, please leave them below. I'm more than happy to get back with you and help in any way I can. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.